Yo, what is going on, guys? There's Danger here, and welcome back to another video on Arrow Season 8. And this is going to be my teaser breakdown, you could call it, as some of this is coming from Stephen Amell himself. But mostly on this video, it's just going to be me adding my own theories for this topic of this video, and that is going to be why Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow, will not die in Crisis on Infinite Earths. So this video idea really popped up to my head a couple of weeks ago, pretty much ever since the Entertainment Weekly interview where Stephen Amell, the actor playing Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow, had to say,
I've always thought that Oliver should, specifically because he is a superhero with no superpowers, I've always felt like he should die. That being said, it was very emotional doing those scenes, but he also might not die, so.
So really, ever since that interview, I really had been trying to find theories and ways on how Oliver may not die in the upcoming crossover, Crisis on Infinite Earths. And I have a couple of theories on why Oliver will not die. And I will go over these theories chronologically. So first, kicking this list off with The Flash Season 1, Episode 22, when the Reverse Flash says,
"The history books say you live to be 86 years old, Mr. Queen."
So, just in case you guys didn't hear what Thawne had to say, he said, the history books say you live to be 86 years old, Mr. Queen. So, the thing about this version of Thawne is, this Thawne has experienced Crisis, and he would know that Oliver would die, and because this Thawne is, well, he lives in the future basically, he would have known the age on when Oliver Queen would die, and that would have been 86, when during our timeline, 2019, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Oliver would be 35 years old. But one thing to say is that this event took place before Flashpoint, which is normally 19 due to Flashpoint. Also, when that episode of The Flash was shot, the show Arrow would have been on season 3, almost wrapped up season 3. That would have been the penultimate episode for season 3. So they wouldn't have known that the show would have been ending in season 8 just yet, which could also be another reason why they would have said this. And next we have one of the episodes in The Flash season 5 where Nora mentions how powerful Cicada is to Team Flash on this shot over here.
Not all superheroes are metahumans, though. What about
Green Arrow? Yeah, he tried to once, but...
So we're dealing with a metahuman Jack the Ripper.
So we know that Cicada was supposed to be from the future, meaning he would have been there after Crisis. And that means we would have seen Oliver versus Cicada at one point after Crisis, meaning Oliver wouldn't have died. And this happened when Arrow was rumored, that episode was filmed when when it was rumored that Arrow would end. But this wouldn't have happened due to the satellite in season 4 being destroyed, therefore making Cicada appear early on. And that would allow us not being able to see Green Arrow versus Cicada. But they never really said that Cicada would never return again, so there is a possibility that after Crisis we do get a more dangerous version of Cicada who does appear to be the one that killed the 152 victims and rising, and we would eventually see a Green Arrow versus Cicada after Crisis on Infinite Earths. Next, we have the events on Elseworlds that took place, where Oliver makes the deal with the Monitor to save Barry and Kara's life. And then a week after Elseworlds, Arrow announced that Season 8 would be the final season, which eventually led to people theorizing that Oliver would die. And moving on from that, we have the events of Arrow Season 7, where the Monitor goes to Oliver's house to take him after the birth of Mia Smoke, well, a couple of months after. And the Monitor reveals Oliver's destiny with the following lines in this shot over here. So, just in case if you guys didn't hear what he said, the Monitor said, "I've seen your future, Oliver, inexorable and unavoidable. I have watched you die." And this could pretty much confirm that Oliver dies. But then we got news, I think it was Eric Wallace himself, saying that in the ending of The Flash Season 6, Episode 1, I believe, but it's one of the episodes in The Flash Season 6, he said that the Monitor would basically do the exact same thing to Barry, where he goes up to Barry and tells him that he's going to have to sacrifice himself to save the multiverse. Meaning, the Monitor doesn't really know who will die in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Also, we know in Arrow Season 8, Oliver will be traveling the multiverse, as well as time traveling to recruit heroes for the upcoming crossover. With Oliver having an ability like that, this could be the exact same thing to what played out in the Flash season 3 with Iris, but happening to Oliver instead. So Oliver tries to go to a specific timeline, maybe to recruit a hero or something, but then he accidentally travels to the Crisis timeline, therefore allowing Oliver to witness how he dies. And so the last few episodes of Arrow building up to Oliver trying to prevent his death from happening, although his death was inexorable and unavoidable. But the same thing happened with Iris, literally in Season 3 of The Flash, where there was no way to prevent her from dying against Savitar, but then they found a way to save her with only just one character, and that's because they switched bodies thanks to HR. So with the whole multiverse, they could come up with a plan easily to prevent Oliver's death. Also, Kevin Conroy's version of Bruce Wayne, who will appear on Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, is from the future. So this Bruce Wayne is from the future. So this Bruce Wayne would have lived Crisis on Infinite Earths as well. So he would have witnessed it and he would have known how Oliver dies. So he could easily just tell Oliver how he dies, and Oliver could just learn how to prevent his death like that. And in the future sequences in Arrow Season 7 finale, we saw Oliver's grave, which would mean that Oliver is dead. But same for Season 3 flashbacks, we saw Thea standing in front of Oliver's grave, but Oliver was alive. And what if this is a trick? What if Oliver faked his own death and is in fact alive, but retired or being the Green Arrow from another Earth? We don't know for sure. But then people would begin asking why Oliver wasn't with Mia that whole time then. So the best explanation really is that since Mia is confirmed to appear in Crisis, Oliver would have to travel to 2040 at one point to grab her, and when he's there, he would see how Mia hated vigilantes at one point and seeing what Star City had been through and with the vigilante chaos, and Oliver would probably find himself a threat or something, so he chooses to stay silent. Now, we also saw in Arrow Season 7's finale that future Felicity went somewhere with the Monitor, with Martin Novu saying in this clip over here. As you saw, the scene ending over there, the Monitor opening up a breach and taking Felicity somewhere, which is Oliver. So, has Felicity gone to the Paradise Dimension to see Oliver again, or is Oliver really not dead and Felicity knows? Felicity went to Oliver, as the Monitor would be hiding Oliver this whole time. And maybe the Monitor gives like one chance for Felicity to see Oliver, and that would be like a permanent stay, which is why he said that you cannot return once you go there. That could also be another reason. But yeah, this could mean that Oliver is still alive. Also, with the events taking place in the ending of Supergirl Season 4, where the Monitor brings Lex Luthor back to life, what's to say that the Monitor can't do the exact same thing for Oliver? And lastly, Stephen Amell confirmed that Arrow Season 8 will have a happy ending, and with Oliver dying, it will be the most impactful and most saddest death in the Arrowverse, making Arrow not have a happy ending. And since the Crisis crossover for Arrow is the 8th episode for Season 8, and not the 9th as last year, Arrow would have 2 episodes left. So in these 2 episodes, once Arrow has ended, and as cool as Oliver surviving would be, at least a main character should die in Crisis on Infinite Earths. And with Arrow ending, there is really no other perfect opportunity to kill off a character, and there is still a very huge possibility of Oliver dying. And if Oliver doesn't die, there is really no reason why the show would end. So if Oliver survives, basically, the show should continue. There's no reason why the show shouldn't continue. But since this is Arrow's final season, Oliver should die. And yeah, that's all I have time for today, guys. So if you've enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. And tell me in the comment section down below whether you think Oliver will die or survive. And I'll see you in my next video.